In the peculiar cyberpunk future of the mid-21st century, the film begins by introducing us to a unique character named Cohen Leth, who is a peculiar and reclusive programmer. His residence bears an eerie resemblance to a rundown church, establishing a somber and unsettling atmosphere. Within this unconventional setting, Cohen sits completely unclothed, his attention fixated on a computer screen displaying an image of a black hole. As the scene progresses, Cohen's employer repeatedly contacts him via phone calls, but his growing panic impedes his ability to respond or communicate effectively. Eventually, he summons the courage to leave his seat and proceeds to groom himself and dress for the upcoming day. With a set of keys, he unlocks his door, revealing the outside world that fills him with apprehension. It is at this moment that he encounters a destitute man seeking shelter right at his doorstep. As we step outside, we are introduced to a society gripped by dystopia, where advertisements dominate the landscape, leaving little room for escape. Cohen finds himself struggling to navigate through the bustling streets, filled with people rushing to complete their daily tasks, including janitorial work. The congested roads pose a formidable challenge for him, intensifying his discomfort and unease. In search of respite, he takes a brief break before eventually making his way to his workplace. Cohen Leth is employed in the ontological research division of a prominent company called ManCams. Upon his arrival at the office, a presentation unfolds, offering an overview of the company's various segments and the services they provide. Once settled in at his workplace, Cohen engrossed himself in his work, utilizing a device that bears resemblance to a video game to process and analyze entities. The office is filled with numerous individuals immersed in similar tasks, creating a bustling environment. Amidst his deep concentration, he receives a phone call, serving as a reminder about his upcoming health checkups. Shortly thereafter, Cohen's supervisor, Joby, approaches him and suggests the possibility of canceling his health appointments. This suggestion arises due to the looming deadline for Cohen's project, which happens to coincide with the same day as his health checkups. Interestingly, during their conversation, Cohen refers to himself using the plural form, revealing a peculiar personal quirk or idiosyncrasy. In response, Cohen informs Joby that he had completed the project earlier that morning while working remotely from home. Throughout their conversation, Joby repeatedly mispronounces Cohen's name, which annoys him, leading Cohen to correct him each time. In a somewhat peculiar turn of events, Joby offers Cohen a substance resembling a chemical in a flask, and later attempts to give him a simple message, but Cohen declines, refusing the gesture. Subsequently, we observe Mr. Cohen Leth as he attends his scheduled medical checkup. He lies down on a digital stretcher bed while 3 doctors from the company examine him. However, Cohen finds the process of leaving his serene church-like dwelling, which bears the scars of fire damage, and venturing out into the bustling, dazzling, yet polluted streets quite unpleasant. The prospect of working in a noisy office setting evokes apprehension within Cohen, as he anxiously anticipates a mysterious phone call that he has been awaiting for years. He dreads the possibility of missing this long-awaited call amidst the clamor of the office environment. As a result, he expresses his longing for disability leave or requests permission to work remotely from the solace of his home. While undergoing the examination, Mr. Cohen Leth shares with the doctors his belief that humanity, including himself, is steadily approaching its inevitable demise. He presents his hair loss as a tangible manifestation of his impending mortality, using it as evidence to support his perspective on the fragility of human existence. In response, the 3 doctors provide reassurance to Cohen, assuring him that his physical well-being is pristine, highlighting that he is completely healthy and devoid of any medical issues. As they converse, Cohen continues to refer to himself using the plural form, a linguistic peculiarity of his. One of the doctors takes a step forward and proceeds to conduct a physical examination on him, perhaps in an attempt to address any underlying concerns. 2 of the doctors seize the opportunity to further reassure Cohen, emphasizing that he should proceed with his work without any worries or anxieties. They emphasize the importance of his continued dedication and encourage him to maintain his focus, suggesting that there is no cause for alarm regarding his health. However, the 3rd doctor appears to derive a sense of amusement from the situation, finding some form of entertainment in Cohen's emotional distress. Nevertheless, it becomes evident that Cohen's emotional well-being is genuinely compromised, necessitating attention and intervention from medical professionals. Meanwhile, the company takes the initiative to contact Dr. Shrink Rome, an AI therapist, to address the situation concerning Mr. Cohen Leth. It is Cohen himself who instigates these actions, although it takes him a considerable amount of time to commute to work at the company. He firmly believes that he can be more productive by working from the comfort of his own home where he feels at ease. Additionally, he anxiously awaits a particular phone call that he had missed on several occasions, as he believes it holds the key to understanding the purpose and meaning of his life. This phone call remains his fervent hope and source of anticipation. Even though Cohen constantly receives intrusive advertisement calls, he maintains a resolute determination to answer the long-awaited call that he believes will unveil the ultimate purpose of his life. This anticipated call holds immense significance for him, and he is unwilling to miss it under any circumstances. Initially, he rejects the recommendation of seeing a psychiatric therapist, claiming that he lacks the time for such a pursuit. However, as time progresses, he eventually agrees to consider it, recognizing the potential benefit it may offer. In an unexpected twist, Cohen's supervisor extends an invitation to a party, which Cohen initially declines. However, the supervisor unveils an enticing detail: the company management will be present at the event. This revelation presents a valuable opportunity for Cohen to directly convey his request. Intrigued by the possibility of addressing his concerns directly to the management, Cohen reluctantly changes his mind and agrees to attend the party. The gathering takes place at Joby's house, adding a personal touch to the event. Upon his arrival at the gathering, Cohen experiences a profound sense of unease as he finds himself amidst a sizable crowd. The atmosphere is filled with lively dancing and people engrossed in their mobile phones and tablets, engaging in both revelry and technological distractions simultaneously. Seeking answers, Cohen approaches Joby and asks about the presence of the company management. To his disappointment, Joby informs him that the management has opted to maintain a level of privacy during the event and has no intention of participating in personal meetings. Their purpose for attending the party is purely to enjoy themselves, rather than engage in business discussions or interactions. After being taken aback by this unforeseen disclosure, Cohen Leth finds himself overcome with a profound sense of astonishment. In response, he quietly withdraws to a room where he unexpectedly comes face to face with the members of the company management. Recognizing this as a golden opportunity, Mr. Cohen Leth seizes the moment and presents his request before them, hoping for a positive response. Unfortunately, the individuals comprising the company management are deeply ingrained in societal conventions, and they perceive Cohen's appeals as peculiar and unconventional. Consequently, they swiftly dismiss his requests without giving them a second thought. Disheartened by their outright rejection, Cohen decides to leave the party, feeling dejected and discouraged. However, just as he is on the verge of departing, his supervisor intercepts him and insists that he partake in some nourishment, perhaps in an attempt to lift his spirits or offer a gesture of consolation. Regrettably, while enjoying his meal, Cohen suddenly finds himself choking, thrust into a life-threatening situation. As panic ensues, a woman named Bainsley swiftly comes to his aid, utilizing her life-saving skills to rescue him from the perilous predicament. Overwhelmed with gratitude for her timely intervention, Cohen expresses his sincere appreciation and prepares to depart from the party, still recovering from the harrowing experience. However, Bainsley, captivated by Cohen's presence and intrigued by his demeanor, requests his contact information, insisting on staying connected with him. Despite his initial hesitation, Cohen obliges and reluctantly provides his contact details before bidding farewell. Little does he know that this encounter will have a significant impact on his life. The following day, as Cohen returns to his workplace, his supervisor delivers unexpected news that brightens his spirits. The company has approved his long-awaited request to work from the comfort of his own home. This newfound flexibility brings a sense of relief and excitement to Cohen's professional life. Furthermore, his supervisor acquaints him with an intriguing new project dubbed the Zero Theorem. This project involves a profoundly complex mathematical equation known to exhaust and challenge anyone who dares to delve into its intricacies. The task ahead promises to be mentally demanding and may hold unforeseen consequences for Cohen. To emphasize the immense scale and importance of the project, the supervisor proudly presents Cohen with a cutting-edge supercomputer named Neural Net Mankind. This state state-of-the-art machine serves as a symbol of the project's complexity and significance, solidifying Cohen's understanding of the monumental task at hand. The next day, Mr. Cohen Leth embarks on his work for the Zero Theorem project, immersing himself in the solitude of his own home. As the days unfold, he finds himself grappling with the intricate equation, pouring substantial effort into his endeavors. However, despite his dedicated attempts, he can only achieve a success rate of 97%. Frustration steadily builds within him as the deadline for the project draws near and the theorem remains unproven, casting doubt on his ability to accomplish the task. Adding to Cohen's distress, the long-awaited phone call that he has yearned for over many years continues to elude him. The absence of this call, which he believes holds the key to understanding the meaning of his life, serves as a constant source of disappointment and longing, further heightening his emotional burden. Even with the guidance of his AI therapist, Dr. Shrink, Mr. Cohen Leth finds no solace or solutions to his mounting problems. This lack of progress only serves to worsen his already deep-seated despair. As the difficulties continue to accumulate, Cohen reaches a breaking point, overwhelmed by the seemingly insurmountable challenges he faces. He succumbs to a burst of frustration, venting his anger by damaging his computer system, an act that provides temporary release. Unbeknownst to him, the company management has been closely observing these events unfold through the CCTV system, which was originally installed alongside the computer. The presence of this surveillance system was established without Cohen's knowledge, leaving him completely unaware that his actions and struggles were being monitored. The management silently witnesses his moments of distress and frustration, observing the impact of their project and the toll it takes on him, all while remaining concealed from his awareness. On the subsequent day, Supervisor Joby is assigned the task of visiting Mr. Cohen Leth's residence to address the issues with the computer system. With his expertise, Joby skillfully fixes the system, restoring its functionality. Alongside resolving the technical glitch, Joby offers words of encouragement and support to Cohen Leth. He reveals that Cohen is on the brink of proving the theorem, a significant milestone that no one else has achieved thus far. This revelation both inspires and burdens Cohen as he realizes the weight of the task and the immense pressure to succeed. Acknowledging the overwhelming nature of the project and the strain it places on Cohen, Joby recognizes the importance of providing additional assistance and motivation. In light of this, he decides to send a friend to uplift and encourage Cohen Leth, understanding that some external support and encouragement may be crucial to bolster his spirits and help him persevere through the challenging endeavor. In the subsequent scene, Cohen Leth peacefully slumbers when a sudden knock on the door startles him awake. To his astonishment, he discovers that the visitor is none other than Joby's friend, Miss Bainsley, who arrives unexpectedly, dressed in a captivating nurse's outfit. Cohen Leth experiences a tinge of unease, unsure of how to interpret her unconventional attire. Bainsley clarifies that she has come to visit him since Cohen Leth never reached out to her after the party. Engaging in conversation, they delve into various topics, gradually building a rapport. Bainsley takes the initiative to tidy up Cohen Leth's house, showcasing her thoughtful and caring nature. During their interaction, Cohen Leth opens up to Bainsley, sharing his persistent anticipation of a pivotal phone call that he believes will reveal the elusive meaning of life. As their conversation nears its end, Bainsley bids farewell to Cohen Leth, assuring him that she will return soon. Her departure leaves Cohen Leth with a sense of intrigue and curiosity, wondering how this unexpected connection will unfold and how it might impact his quest for understanding. On the subsequent day, a representative from the company arrives at Mr. Cohen Leth's residence to address the issues with his computer. As they engage in conversation, Cohen seizes the opportunity to express his profound dissatisfaction with his job and his longing to leave the company. However, the company representative, known as Bob, delivers a disheartening message. He informs Cohen that the management will not permit him to resign, effectively denying his request to leave. To Cohen's surprise, Bob goes on to disclose a startling revelation about the level of control the company management holds over its employees. He explains that the management wields significant power, extending to their actions and even their interactions with others. In a particularly noteworthy revelation, Bob reveals that even Miss Bainsley, the woman Cohen has previously encountered, is being paid by the management to visit him. These claims challenge Cohen's beliefs and make it difficult for him to accept the extent extent of the management's influence and manipulation. Doubt and confusion permeate his mind as he struggles to reconcile this newfound information with his previous experiences and perceptions. Before bidding farewell, Bob imparts a surprising revelation to Cohen, one that leaves him utterly astounded and captivated. Bob discloses that the long-awaited phone call, the one that holds the key to unraveling the meaning of life, will be granted to Cohen on the condition that he agrees to work on the enigmatic Zero Theorem. This revelation ignites a spark of curiosity and intrigue within Cohen as he contemplates the significance of this proposition and the potential answers it may hold. The following day, Bainsley returns to Cohen's residence, bearing an intriguing gift, a virtual reality VR suit. This suit allows them to enter a virtual realm where they can meet and interact with each other. In this virtual space, they decide to explore a setting where the sun sets, accompanied by Bainsley's virtual presence. Remarkably, within this digital domain, both Cohen and Bainsley don a full head of hair, a departure from their real-world appearances. They engage in playful activities, reveling in the immersive experience of this virtual world. On another occasion, Bob makes a return visit to Mr. Cohen Leth's house, initiating a conversation that delves into the nature of the elusive Zero Theorem. Bob reveals that this theorem pertains to the Big Crunch theory of the universe, an intriguing concept in astrophysics. Essentially, if the Zero Theorem were to be proven, it would suggest that life itself lacks inherent meaning. The theorem postulates that our entire universe is gradually contracting, undergoing a cosmic process of shrinking and compression. These revelations open up new avenues of thought and contemplation for Cohen, pushing the boundaries of his understanding and challenging his perception of the universe and his place within it. Each encounter and revelation brings him closer to the enigmatic Zero Theorem, offering glimpses of its profound implications and the potential transformation it may bring to his perception of reality. According to this theory, there will come a point where all the energy in the universe will condense into a massive black hole. This catastrophic event would lead to the complete annihilation of our world, rendering everything devoid of purpose. The destruction of the entire world would occur instantaneously. Mr. Cohen Leth finds himself taken aback by this revelation and expresses disbelief, asserting that it cannot be true. He questions whether anyone would willingly choose to work on a theory with such profound and unsettling implications. Bob advises Cohen not to let fear hinder his explorations, encouraging him to continue despite his apprehensions. After imparting this advice, Bob departs from the conversation. However, Cohen remains deeply unsettled by the grim implications of the Zero Theorem. No matter how many times he attempts to work on the theory, he finds himself unable to muster the motivation. Consequently, he decides to meet Bainsley in the virtual reality realm. Upon their reunion, Cohen experiences a wave of disappointment when he realizes that the virtual environment they enter lacks the presence of a beautiful sunset. However, Bainsley comes to the rescue by offering a solution. She grants Cohen the power to transport them elsewhere within virtual reality, providing him with the ability to shape their digital surroundings. Intrigued by this newfound capability, Cohen closes his eyes and unintentionally transports them dangerously close to a black hole, the very same black hole that has haunted their dreams. Unfortunately, this well-intentioned action leads to an unfavorable turn of events as both Cohen and Bainsley find themselves ensnared in the treacherous gravitational pull of the black hole. In a desperate attempt to rectify the perilous situation, Bainsley musters her ingenuity and manages to bring them back to the safety of a serene beach within the virtual reality realm. It is within this vulnerable moment, amidst the backdrop of the virtual beach, that Cohen and Bainsley share a profound and intimate connection. It is in this fleeting instant that Cohen proposes the idea of hiding from the management, suggesting that they remain within this virtual reality realm indefinitely, away from the control and influence of their manipulative employers. However, Bainsley responds with a sudden rush of panic and firmly rejects the proposition, abruptly exiting virtual reality. Regrettably, in the the process, their VR suit becomes damaged or malfunctions, severing the connection that Cohen and Bainsley had to the virtual world, leaving them disconnected and forced to confront the reality from which they had momentarily escaped. The next day, Bob once again visits Mr. Cohen Leth's residence, this time to repair his VR suit. After successfully fixing the suit, Bob takes his leave from Cohen's house. Filled with an insatiable curiosity, Cohen decides to explore Bainsley's website in search of answers. However, his hopes are dashed when he realizes that he no longer has access to the site, leaving him disappointed and yearning for the information he seeks. Several days pass and Bob returns to Cohen's house once more. Recognizing Cohen's disillusioned and crestfallen state, Bob musters the courage to deliver a disheartening revelation. He informs Cohen that the long-awaited phone call he has eagerly anticipated is nothing more than a figment of his imagination. There will be no such call that bestows upon him the profound meaning of life. Bob insists that even Dr. Shrinkrom, Cohen's AI therapist, confirms this truth. Reluctantly, Dr. Shrinkrom affirms that the call was merely a programmed concept designed to give Cohen false hope in his quest to discover the purpose of his existence. Despite this revelation, Cohen continues to toil diligently for the management company, fueled by that very hope that has been shattered. Despite the devastating realization that the call was an illusion, Cohen persists in his work, driven by a glimmer of optimism that perhaps there is still something meaningful to be found within the confines of his labor. The revelation of the call's emptiness, though a crushing blow, hasn't extinguished Cohen's determination to uncover his place in the grand scheme of things. Cohen is deeply shocked by this revelation as he realizes that his long-held anticipation and hope were based on a false belief. The truth dawns upon him, leaving him profoundly unsettled and disillusioned. After Bob's departure, Bainsley arrives at Cohen Leth's location. In a candid conversation, she discloses the complete truth to him, shedding light on the manipulative actions that the management had instructed her to carry out. Bainsley acknowledges her desire to break free from the control of the management, expressing her longing to escape it all and pursue a life of freedom, picturing herself on a genuine beach. However, despite this tempting offer, Cohen Leth declines, deciding not to join her in this pursuit. He chooses to continue his involvement with the company, despite the revelations, perhaps driven by his complex motivations and a sense of duty or attachment to his work. After this interaction, Bob returns and takes Cohen Leth outside. However, during their time together, Bob's health abruptly deteriorates, and he falls ill with a fever. Meanwhile, Cohen Leth has learned the entire truth about how the management has been taking advantage of him. This newfound knowledge fills him with anger and resentment towards the management. In a fit of rage, he proceeds to destroy all the closed-circuit televisions, CCTVs, that have been monitoring his activities. As a consequence of Cohen Leth's actions, the following day, members of the management forcefully broke into his residence by breaking down his door. Filled with anger, they apprehend Bob and take him away. Shortly afterward, Joby, Bob's superior, arrives at the scene and informs Cohen Leth that he has been terminated from his job due to the incident. These events leave Cohen Leth feeling immensely isolated and alone. In his solitude, Cohen Leth decides to don his upgraded VR suit and attempts to establish a connection with the computer system. Unfortunately, the connection fails, resulting in Cohen Leth receiving an electric shock. To his surprise, he suddenly finds himself near the immense supercomputer. Coincidentally, the boss of the management company arrives at that very moment and reveals to Cohen Leth that Bob is suffering from a chronic illness and has been hospitalized. The boss explains that the reason Cohen Leth was chosen to prove the Zero Theorem was because even he, the boss, does not comprehend the true meaning of life. However, he does understand that the universe is fundamentally chaotic and will ultimately succumb to this disorder. Cohen Leth was specifically selected for this task because the boss believed in him and trusted his abilities. In pursuit of that purpose, Mr. Cohen Leth was willing to expend his entire existence. Ever since that anticipated phone call, he had been searching for the meaning of his life, clinging to it as his reason for living. Consequently, he had to continue working, enduring the wait for that call. However, it was during this period of anticipation that he found a sense of purpose, discovering numerous opportunities in life, fueled by the hope of receiving that transformative call. These experiences led him down a different path, altering the course of his life. Following these revelations, the representative from the management team declares that they no longer require the services of Mr. Cohen Leth. Subsequently, he vanishes into thin air. Filled with anger and frustration, Mr. Cohen Leth directs his fury at this turn of events, resulting in him shattering the supercomputer. A black hole emerges and a multitude of images are observed swirling within it. Without hesitation, Mr. Cohen Leth leaps into the black hole. To his surprise, he finds himself in a virtual world where he revels in solitary enjoyment. As the movie concludes, it highlights the exploitation of employees in today's society. It emphasizes how individuals are coerced into working under pretenses and manipulated by the allure of fabricated purposes.